2019. I welcome each one of you to the 10th Institute lecture that is to be delivered by another unique individual who has carved his niche in the field of marketing. To just inform the audience that he is an inspiring speaker, and he not only inspires but also he not only sells dreams but has also funded few of his students' projects to convert not only the entrepreneurship but the backup wealth has also been provided by this professor. So we have today a unique professor who will not only give you ideas but will also inform you that how you can invest your rest of the professional life with best return on investment in terms of time and wealth both. We are fortunate to have him with us. I'll introduce first our Institute lecture series and then we'll proceed with this lecture of today. The Institute lecture series has a motto of educate to innovate and innovate to change. Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya, the illustrious founder of BHU and pioneer of the degree level engineering education in India, through the erstwhile engineering college, Benko, College of Technology, Techno, and College of Mining and Metallurgy, MINMET, had envisioned a holistic education for its graduates who would involve themselves lifelong in nation building with strong human values. At that point of time, world was not global, so nation building was the highest value with which education was imparted. The institute, even after being upgraded from ITBHU to Indian Institute of Technology BHU, is committed to maintain the same ethos. To this means the institute has planned to organize institute lecture series as one of the courses. The lectures are meant to agitate the thought process and the intellectual ecology within the institute for sensitizing the institute fraternity to the problems of the society, which in turn would kindle in them a quest for the search of the effective solution. Lecture objectives are connecting faculty, students and staff to the world at large through a variety of perspectives on the national and international problems faced by the society. To this means, we have set no boundary for the topic of the lecture and the area of specialization of the speaker. That's our biggest strength. The lectures would enable to align the pedagogy of the institute to societal problems. Some of the listed coverage areas, though we have no finality to this, are science and technology, energy, infrastructure, which would include transportation, irrigation and flood control, planning, economics, creativity, ethics and values, philosophy, education, societal roles, health, and now our list has just been broadened already by Dr. Manu Vora, who was President of American Society for Quality, and Professor David would also be extending our boundary by talking on marketing. He is Professor of Marketing. Marketing normally means, to a layman, if you say that I am going to marketing, it means you are going to procure something. I used to think that बाजार में विचार नहीं होता, प्रचार होता है. That means the market normally has more of advertisements and less of thoughts. So this is what I used to think, but after seeing your CV, I thought that there are not many dimensions to marketing and its fallouts. So that will be unfolded by Professor David today. And now I will request Professor Anil Agarwal to kindly conduct Professor David Richard Bell and Professor Sushil Kumar Sharma to the dais. Sir, आप भी सर आप भी
Thank you.
down to earth that we should learn. इनका जो CV दिखता नहीं है इनके behavior से, लेकिन confuse मत करना. He is a great man. He is been कोरा में greatest professors of IT BHU का जो सर्च करोगे तो इन्हीं का नाम है. तो confuse कर जाते हैं कि मेरा नाम है. मैं इलेक्शन लड़ा तो बहुत से वोट इनके कारण मिल गए. Big brother of mine, I have always been at advantage because of him. I'll request Saksha. She has a unique name. Normally we have Sakshi. And our speaker is unique, so I thought that Saksha should present bouquet and welcome Professor David. And I request Utkarsh Sharma. उत्कर्ष शर्मा, because सुशील शर्मा सर के बेटे का नाम उत्कर्ष है, तो मुझे लगा उत्कर्ष अगर वेलकम करे तो कुछ पर्सनल होगा. I request उत्कर्ष to welcome Professor सुशील कुमार शर्मा. I now request Professor Anil Kumar Agrawal, my esteemed committee member, to introduce the speaker of today. Thank you.
So welcome you, Professor David Richard Bell. So you are going to be the first speaker to deliver a lecture under the series of Institute lecture series for this session. So we are happy to have a wonderful person like you to start the lecture series in this semester. So we are really grateful to you. So water itself is a big name, and more than that, when you hear of David Richard Bell, then maybe you feel really confused. It's a great name. Like we are very fortunate to have the gentleman over here to talk on some aspects of marketing itself. If you look at his academic profile, he started his career in commerce. He's earned his graduate degree in 1986. Then he's earned his finally PhD degree from Stanford University, and he specialized in the area of business. And his dissertation topic was consumer response to retailer pricing strategies. So this is really great. Right now he's professor, rightly said by my colleague, Professor S.K. Sharma. He is serving Wharton School. If I look into this CV itself, this CV, I was told, is a brief CV, and that itself runs into 16 pages. So this list of awards and accolades that he has earned, that itself runs into pages itself. So maybe if I start reading, probably this time for the session itself will be over. But to tell you that maybe recently he has earned overall Best Paper Award in 2014. It was part of a workshop on information system and economics. Then maybe he also got first place award by Production and Management, Operations Management Society. It was given for his paper Inventory Showrooms and Customer Migration in Omni-Channel Retail, the Effect of Product Information. So there are many this thing. I will request Professor S.K. Sharma later on to pass on this kind of biota to each one of us. Correct or not? Let's save on time, because probably we would like to listen more from him. Correct or not? These things can be passed on to these students. So it's really something unique. Like maybe normally we technicians normally get rare opportunity to be called as an expert in resolving court cases. So Richard Bell, yes, he's a great person. He has been called to solve some 11 cases, very important cases. His expertise was drawn to that level also. He has contributed a lot to academics. His books are very interesting. He has written a number of books. So one very important book is the same thing, the topic of the talk today itself. The equation is still everything. The surprising influence of the real world on how we search, shop and sell in virtual world. So this is the book that he has written. He has a number of published papers to his credit that itself goes into number of pages itself. He has contributed in writing manuscripts, and he has been part of number of doctoral committees. I can see that. And then maybe yes, he has, when I see the number of courses that he has taught, he has handled variety of courses. It's not like we people itself who have been handling only few of the courses. Maybe he is having depth with everything. So that's really great. And his reviewer for a number of very important and very popular journals. To name few, it's Manufacturing and Service Operations Management. This is where he's senior editor since 2003. He also is on the editorial board of the Journal of Retailing, Journal of Marketing Research, Marketing Science, Foundations and Trends in Marketing, Manufacturing and Service Operations Management. So there are many. He's also ad hoc reviewer for some 10-15 journals. I can see that, and he's a very popular person. He has been invited to deliver maybe talks on a number of issues by great universities, and maybe that's the reason why he's here also, and we are very lucky to have him here today also. So, Professor, if I go and read, maybe this biodata itself will take a lot of time. So maybe to sum up, I'll say simply that yes, we are very fortunate to have Professor David Richard Bell. So without maybe we're killing our time further, I'll simply request David Richard Bell to infuse us with the kind of ideas that he has about this topic. Why innovation is still everything in e-commerce.
Thank you very much. It's okay, I don't mind to stand here. You can hear me okay? Yes. So the first point is very simple, which is to say that if Adley, he lives in the suburbs, his option for offline shopping is much worse than for Rohit. And so demand in Rohit's neighborhood, online demand is much higher than it is in Adley's neighborhood. Okay, does that make sense to you guys? So this is just a principle. I elaborate more in the book.
Can you read this one?
Oh, sure. Yeah, this is more fun than can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, sometimes for fun, I don't know if, well, okay, I'll tell you later. Sometimes we have a band actually at the
We have to ask what's wrong with the status quo.
What's wrong with the status quo, right? Someone needs to invent a new kind of microphone. So, the next chart I want to show you guys here is, even though everyone thinks that the internet is taking over the world, if you just look at the statistics, you see that the real world still matters. This is from Morgan Stanley, the American bank, and they calculated the amount of e-commerce, total amount of commerce as a percentage that is online. So this is across all categories, across all consumers. So in the UK, about 10% of every single thing that's sold, jeans, shoes, groceries, contact lenses, is sold online. You can see US is about 8%, China 6%, India is about 1.5%. But most people believe that India and China will get more quickly to 20%. And the reason is that the offline infrastructure is less connected and less well developed. So this slide is just showing you that the real world still matters for commerce. And some of the biggest innovation in e-commerce will be making the real world more efficient. How to pick up things from small shops, how to connect one driver with one customer, how to let you know what information is out there about products and services. Okay, let me just say, even though the real world and the virtual world interact, there's some important nuances here. So, what we learned, so research tells us that about 75% of all decisions that people make are preceded by looking at reviews. So have you guys ever checked a review on Zomato? Yes. Or TripAdvisor or Expedia? Did you also know that 30% of all reviews are fake? Okay? So there's some really interesting issues there, but the reason I want to tell you this is, what does providing reviews do? It reduces friction in the buying process. It reduces resistance, even if the information is not perfect. So a student of ours at the Wharton School, he was only 21, he started a company called Milo, M-I-L-O, like the chocolate drink, you know, Milo. Okay? And what he did is he put on the internet the prices and the inventory of local products. So imagine, Rohit, you want to buy a new TV to watch the World Cup. You could go to Milo.com, you enter the product name, it will show how far to this shop has 4 TVs and the price. So he provided transparency on price and inventory. And you might say, what's the big deal? But if you take a step back and you put your hat on as a business person, what he did is he reduced the friction in the buying process. And eBay gave that young man a check for 75 million USD. Okay? Or TripAdvisor. Have you ever read a review on TripAdvisor?
Yes.
Have you ever written a review on TripAdvisor?
Yes.
Do you know the valuation of TripAdvisor? It's more than 10 billion USD. Even though it's not a perfect platform, but what it does is it reduces friction in the buying process. Do you know Practo in India? For doctors, it's like ZocDoc in the US, it's rating the different doctors. In the US, that's a 1.6 billion USD company started by a student from the Wharton School. So we could spend more time, but I just want to give you the idea that if you reduce the friction in the buying process, that can be very, very valuable. I guess I'll just make one other point. I'm going to skip the two things in the middle. This is just to say that I think you need both online and offline together. This is to say that there are certain products that are perfect for the internet. The products that are perfect for the internet are the products that have non-digital attributes, where people know what they're going to get before it comes. What's interesting here is that people's behavior also changes profoundly when they use mobile for commerce. So there's 5 things that you should know about mobile that's absolutely critical for developing a new business. I left my phone down there, but I'll have to pretend. So if I take out my phone, there's 5 key things. Number 1, that device is a payment system and a distribution channel in one tool carried by 2 billion people on the planet. Can you imagine? That never happened before in human history. Could you imagine what you could do with 2 billion people having a payment system and a channel in their pocket right now? The second thing is this is a device that people are always snacking, okay? So when you go to the tea shop and you're waiting for your tea, okay, what is the guy in front doing? He's looking down on his phone. I noticed yesterday at the office, even in the elevator, go down 1 floor, people take out the phone, snack. You can even download an app to your phone called Checky. It will check how many times did you check your phone. So if you build a business that takes advantage of the snacking, like a social gaming business or a newsfeed business or an education delivery business, that can be very powerful. The third thing about mobile is the user interface. You guys are engineers in a different field, but the UI, the user interface is different. It has to be very clean, very specific, very focused only on one task. Number 4, it's a very, very smart tool that allows people to communicate video and photo, and it also knows where you are. It's location aware. You could be walking past the Starbucks and it offers you a coupon to go into the Starbucks. So imagine the kinds of businesses that you could innovate. And the final thing, in marketing, we all say, what's the most powerful form of advertising? If I see an advertisement on TV, watching the World Cup cricket, or if my friend Gaurav says, hey David, you should try this, which is more powerful? The word of mouth, right? So the mobile phone makes word of mouth even more powerful because it creates show and tell. Show and tell. He takes his phone and he shows me the product actually working. So those 5 things are incredibly powerful. Let me give you 2 examples. One problem that was solved, another problem maybe you guys can solve. So you know that buying groceries online is a challenge that companies all over the world are trying to solve? That only about 1% of groceries are purchased online because groceries have what? What kind of attributes? Non-digital attributes. You don't know what the banana is going to be like until you peel it. You might want to touch the fruit before you buy it. Okay? So one of my friends, people have good ideas when they have babies. Okay? He had a baby and he wants to save money. So you know what he does? He takes his iPhone and he photographs coupons. And then when he goes to the shop, most of the shops in America, they have the automatic scanners for the coupons. He just scans his phone, scan, and he's saving money. And he asked the fellow at the shop, he said, does anyone else do the same behavior? And the fellow said, yeah, some other people do the same thing. So he scratched his head, and he started an app that was the #1 app in the App Store. It's called SnipSnap. And with SnipSnap, you can photograph any coupon, you can share them with your friends. If you're a lazy guy like me, I don't do any snipping, I just follow Gaurav who snipped everything, and then I save a lot of money. Okay? Or imagine the following problem. I don't know how severe it is in India, but it's a very severe problem in the US. Did you ever come home with some tomatoes or bananas or carrot or lettuce, and your mother said, "Hey, you idiot, what are you doing? We have bananas. Why did you buy more bananas? We have to throw the old ones." Did it ever happen? So in the US, 35% of all perishable purchases are wasted. So imagine when you're in the shop, you can look inside your phone and see inside your fridge. Would that be a valuable business? Imagine you build that app and you allow people to share what's inside the fridge. Gaurav looks like a very healthy guy. I want to know what he's eating. Let me see inside his fridge. We can share the fridge. Maybe Coca-Cola wants to know if I'm drinking Pepsi. So you see how if you start to think about what's wrong with the status quo.
Is it in the reach of privacy?
Well, some people are crazy. They'll share it. So one other thing I should say to you guys, prompted by this gentleman's observation, is the internet is the world of extremes. So you guys are all engineers. You think about statistics, right? You think about the mean. You think about the variance. On the internet, you should think about the extreme. There will be some crazy fellow who may refer 100,000 customers for you, or 1,000, maybe 100,000 is an exaggeration. There will be some people, given the right opportunity, will create all kinds of benefits for your business. Okay, I'm going to ask you guys a question. Are we going okay for time, guys? I never wear a watch because I have my phone, but then I leave my phone there, so I don't know what the time is. Oh, actually, it says the time, 5 minutes. Okay, we're good. So, do you guys know all these fellows here? So Jeff Bezos, Amazon, Indira Nooyi, PepsiCo, yeah, Steve Jobs, and Sandberg, Facebook. Very good. So one of those people said, "We don't make money when we sell blank. We make money when we help customers make better decisions." Do you know who said that? I guess you got a 25% shot. So this was actually Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos. So the second thing that Jeff Bezos did that was very clever, first thing was he understood the difference, digital, non-digital attributes. The second thing he did, never been done before, he allowed customers to do what? To read a book and then they can write a review. Never been done before. And the publishers of the books came to Mr. Bezos and said, "Bezos, you're an idiot. You're a very stupid man. Your job is to sell books. What if a book has a bad rating, the sales will go down? Your job is to sell books." He said, "No, no, no. You don't understand. I don't make money when I sell books. I make money when I help customers make better decisions." Okay? So think about why you use Zomato. You use Zomato because you want to find a restaurant that's going to give you the product that you think you're going to like more if you haven't been there before. So reducing friction, helping people make decisions is a very, very valuable thing to do. Just by the way, do you think that positive reviews drive sales up? Do you think that's absolutely true? Do you think negative reviews drive sales down? They do. Well, this is maybe US experience, but if your restaurant or your book gets a bad review, your sales will go down. So positive reviews push sales up. Negative reviews push sales down, but negative reviews have a second effect. It's a very bad effect. A negative review will slow down the rate of positive reviews coming in. And that's why I was reading in the paper, Economic Times, 2 or 3 days ago, there's a big problem in India, as in America, of people writing fake reviews. Okay? So that's a whole business in itself. Okay, let me show you guys principle number 3. Do you guys remember what number 3 was? Starts with A? There's no test, but I'm just adjacency. Okay, so these are two neighbors standing next to each other. And what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you a map of the United States. And this is one of the e-commerce companies that I studied. So I became very interested as a professor to understand how the demand of an e-commerce company will grow. Okay? So what we have here is after 6 months, this e-commerce company had some sales. So the United States has about 35,000 what's called zip codes. You guys all know like 90210, Beverly Hills. Unfortunately for me, I live in 19104, Philadelphia. It's not so nice, but it's okay. All right. So 35,000 zip codes. Every area that's dark, this means that location had at least one customer cumulatively within the first 6 months. And then you look after 18 months, 6, 18, 30, 3.5 years, what do you notice for this e-commerce company like Lenskart, like Flipkart, like Amazon, and the demand is spreading throughout the entire country? Then the question you ask, if the new demand is coming in month 43, will the new demand arrive at random? Or, you guys are engineers, will the new demand have some special structure? What do you think? It'll have special structure, right? Let's look at the structure of the demand. If I make the map smaller, now you can focus on Manhattan and New York, Philadelphia, West Coast, and we look at the time. What do you notice about the structure?
The density is more on the
Density certainly is more on the left, very good, thank you. So in the United States, this is just a kind of a quirk of the United States Postal Service. When they designed the zip codes, because there's more population on the eastern part going to the west, the zip codes on the west get a little bit bigger. Okay? But even adjusting for that fact, it's a very good observation, you notice that new demand always shows up in locations close to locations with existing demand. There's a contagion effect. And if, I'm just showing you a map, but I also did something called a hazard. You guys may do this. You know, hazard modeling, when you're predicting the timing of events as a function of characteristics. What you find is that new demand is showing up in a contiguous location for two reasons. Location number one is something called homophily. Homophily means the birds of a feather flock together. People don't just randomly live uniformly across India, or randomly live uniformly across New Zealand, or randomly live uniformly across a city like Varanasi or Hyderabad. The people in a certain location are more similar to each other than the people from another location. It's a very famous principle by an economist called Mr. Thibault, who his theory was that people trade off the cost and the benefit of being in a certain location. So if Rohit has small kids that he needs to send to a school, he might want to live in a location where the schools are very good. If Apte is a guy who likes to party and wants to be single in Manhattan, then he's living in a different location. It's reflecting his cost-benefit trade-off. So homophily says, if you can find one fellow in a location who wants to do business online, then probably you can find another right there. Because his neighbor will be more similar to him than somebody at random. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It's a very powerful principle, homophily. Birds of a feather flock together, and Thibault sorted. Also, if you think about it, if the reason that Rohit is buying his nappies for his kid from diapers.com, the reason is the supermarket is too far away, and the price is no good, and Gaurav is his neighbor, Gaurav suffers from the same problem, because they're co-located. Okay? Homophily, very important. You can leverage it with your business. What's the second thing? What's the second reason? The second reason is people next to each other may speak to each other. There may be some actual contagion or influence going on, either through conversation or through observation. So for e-commerce, one of the most important decisions you make is the box or the package that you put the product in. Have you ever watched videos online of unboxing? Okay, very powerful for contagion. If I'm an e-commerce company, if I'm Lenskart or Warby Parker, and Gaurav buys some glasses, do I want to send the glasses to his home or to his office?
Office.
Very good, sir. To his office, because when it comes to his office, he opens the box, more people see it. It creates social contagion. Do you guys in the audience, maybe I shouldn't mention because of the profs, do you like hip-hop and R&B? You know who Dr. Dre is? Do you know what product he sold to Apple for $3 billion? The Beats. The Beats. The headset. The headphones. And when he created that product with Jimmy Ovine, you know what they did? Well, first of all, what color are those products? Sometimes they're red, sometimes they're white. They're very, very visible. If you fly on Indigo to Hyderabad, you can see a fellow wearing the Beats. Because what they're doing is they want to make the product socially visible. Okay, so it's a very important principle for you guys. What could you do to make the product you're selling socially visible? One of the famous companies in America right now, I encourage you to take a look at it. It's a very funny video. Who's the #1 company in the world selling razors to shave your face? Gillette, very good. The best a man can get. Okay, Gillette. Now, who owns Gillette? Another company purchased Gillette. Do you know which one? Very good. Procter & Gamble. I will have to check with the profs, but maybe you guys can skip your exams. You know everything, about everything. So Procter & Gamble, they purchased Gillette for 57 billion USD, which is a lot of money. And the reason is Gillette has two incredible assets. They have the Gillette brand, and also they lock up the whole distribution channel. So that if you're in America, you pay 4 USD for one razor. And it's the classic, what we call in business, razor and blade strategy. If you have the handle, you keep buying the blades, so there's a long revenue stream, customer lifetime value. So a fellow in America who's a comedian, he started a company. You can watch it on your phone, the video. It's called DollarShaveClub.com. DollarShaveClub.com. And what he'll do is he will send you some razors to your house for $1 a month. And he makes a joke, does your razor really need a flashlight, 5 blades, a back scratcher? He's joking that there's too much engineering and too much marketing, and that's why you're paying so much. But he's also a very clever fellow, because on his website he sells $1 razors, $6 razors, and $9, 3 options for subscription. Which one is 70% of the volume? Very good, the $6. There's a psychological principle called the compromise effect. People choose the middle option when they don't have other information. So that fellow is doing an incredible business just selling razors. Just like Warby Parker is doing an incredible business just selling glasses. All right, I think we're getting close to the time. There's only...
No, I don't think. There's no issue with that. I think go on.
Okay. All right, shall I do one more example? Yes. Do you want the Warby Parker example, or do you want, well, let's see. Do you want to hear about, is that interesting for you guys to hear about the glasses? Yeah. The glasses company? Okay, all right, maybe I'll do that. So I'm going to skip over this. So we have a high-speed presentation. So this is the company. I encourage you to check this out on the website. It's called Warby Parker, and this company is selling glasses on the internet for $95. So here's something for you guys to think about: the status quo. There are many products, and obviously the founders of Lenskart in India realize that the Indian market has the same problem. The price you pay is here. The cost of the product is here. Anytime there's a big margin, you have an opportunity to build an e-commerce business to challenge the margin. That's what Dollar Shave Club did. That's what Warby Parker did with glasses. What other products do you pay too much? Maybe fancy Italian shoes. Maybe the mattress in your bed. Maybe the perfume bought by the ladies. Maybe the watch that you have. Many products, the margin is too big because of monopoly reasons. You can build a business online to change that. Okay? So, yeah, maybe I am talking too long. Maybe the deities are telling us this is too long. They've killed 2 microphones already. I guess it's...
You have to come to podium. Take the third one. Change the status quo. Change the status quo.
Alright, this one here. Okay guys, alright, I'll do this. Can you hear me okay? I'll do this one quickly. So you guys can check out the website if you want to, warbyparker.com. And this is just some information about the company. They sold more than 1 million pair of glasses. They raised $115 million of venture capital. The value of the company is about $600 million. And this is the hottest, trendiest e-commerce company in America right now. And people use the name Warby Parker as a verb. To Warby Parker something means to find an industry with a margin like this and change the game. Okay? By building an online brand for perfume, for shoes, for sneakers, for watches, for mattresses for your bed. There's many companies doing this. So Warby Parker has 3 methods for you to purchase the product. The first thing you can do is you can upload a picture of your face and do a virtual trial. Okay? Some handsome fellow I found on the internet put his face there. Or you can do something very interesting. You can get 5 frames for free sent to your house for 5 days. No glass inside, just the lamp, just the frame. So why is Warby Parker doing this? They're trying to solve what problem? The non-digital attribute problem. Because some customers might want to try on the glass and ask their friend, does it look any good? Okay, so this helps solve the non-digital attribute problem, but it's expensive. It costs about 15 USD operationally to do this. So a few years back, after they started offering a third option. They built some of their own stores, and they also opened showrooms inside other stores, or inside hotels. So all of the Warby Parker product will be available on the BHU campus in the bookstore for people to check. And then they asked myself and 2 other professors to try to figure out what is the impact of adding the offline channel for the online business. So what we did is we did something called a natural experiment. Do you guys run experiments, right? I saw some guys breaking some coal before. I think they were checking the density of the coal, doing some experiment. So this is a natural experiment, where in some locations, a fellow like Gaurav, he has 2 options: buy online or do home trial. But in the location where Rohit lives, they open up a shop. So people in Rohit's location have 3 options. So we do a regression analysis with some tricks to figure out if after you open the 3rd option, what happens to demand at the company. And this is what we found. So when you open an offline shop in a location, your online demand in that location, your total demand in that location goes up. There's a complementarity. When you open a shop, or you drive a bus, or you have a pop-up store, your online demand in that location goes up about 4%. Why do you think that is, guys? So Warby Parker opens a small shop in Rohit's neighborhood, and in Rohit's neighborhood, warbyparker.com sales are going up. Why is that?
People come to know about it.
Very good, you come to know about it. It's an awareness effect, it's an advertising effect, it's giving credibility that he exists in the real world. And you guys can check this on your own. But some of the very famous e-commerce companies that you could copy into the Indian market, like Birchbox, Rent the Runway, Warby Parker, Harry's, they all open offline shops for this reason. However, we noticed in Robert's neighborhood, after we offer a shop, the sales of the sampling program, home trial program, go down. This looks like bad news, right? Sales in the sampling goes down, but the orders in the sampling program go down by even more. So if sales go down 5 and orders in Robert's location go down 8, what happened to the conversion rate? Conversion rate must have gone up. So if you open an offline shop, the conversion on your online sampling actually improves. And in addition, what happens is you get fewer returns and fewer people doing repeat home trial. So having an offline presence builds your credibility, builds your awareness, but it also improves your operational efficiency. So here's the 3 takeaways. I'll leave you guys to as you're drinking tea, as you're talking to each other, as you're thinking about mining problems, you can also be thinking about what's wrong with the what? What's wrong with the status quo? Why is my coffee no good? Why are my shoes too expensive? Why can't I learn French for free? Ask yourself those questions and try and solve the problem, especially since you've got that little device in everybody's hand around the world. So the first takeaway, the benefits of shopping and searching online cannot be separated from people's offline experiences. If you understand people's offline experiences, you can predict and forecast their online behavior to a great extent. Second thing that's quite interesting, and you guys saw this in the map, is the effects of the real world are actually quite stable and quite predictable, because people's real world locations and real world behaviors are stable and predictable. And then thirdly, if you want to succeed in this new world, it's not just about being offline or online, it's always about being both. Now maybe you don't do everything in both, maybe you just provide information online and fulfillment offline, but you have to be active in both. Okay? So thank you so much. It's been a real honor to be here. As I said, 2 of my 3 advisors are IIT graduates, so I'm going to send them an email and say I got to come to the IIT. I'm sure they'll be very happy. So thank you so much, everyone, and all the best. Thank you.
Now you must be curious to know certain finer points. You can take 1 or 2 questions that bothers you about marketing. Yes, please. You can speak from there.
Do you think that, like, in some cases the resistance can be taken away, but in other cases it's not possible to reduce the friction?
That's a great question. I think some frictions are very, very hard to reduce, but the technology is improving at such a rate. So for example, one of my colleagues at University of Pennsylvania, she's a robotics engineer. And for example, some doctors now, they do surgery, they're using a robot to go inside somebody, but they can't feel what the robot's feeling. She's building technology to do that. Well, you can imagine in 5 years, you just put on a pair of glasses and the whole wall becomes a shop, and you just... So I think you're right. There's some frictions are harder to reduce than others, and in marketing we have 3 classes of goods. We think about search goods. The search good is something you know what you'll get before you take it. It's a Starbucks coffee. An experience good is something you're not sure until you try it. That's a restaurant that you've never been to before. A credence good is like paying a lot of money to McKinsey Consulting for a report. You don't know if they did any good or not. You paid the money, but they're sending you some signals. So it is challenging to reduce frictions, but technology is moving, and also people are becoming more willing to purchase online. So I think they're dissolving, but I think really creative companies can make them dissolve more quickly. Like even though I don't like the company, I use the service, Uber is a classic case of eliminating friction because it's matching people very efficiently. Good question.
Good question, because Asians are, the nature of Asians are different. We have a lot of festivals we want to mix. If you see the tradition, Mela, then small functions in the house, and many other such social events. By nature, we mix. Americans is a bit isolated. I've seen that quite a lot. So frictions will be there when you do this kind of work, especially in the Indian circumstances. Any other question, please?
I think not only technology can remove all the friction. There are certain, we do pestle analysis, or government policies are also one of the friction which need to tackled by the companies. So I bought one hair pendant skinfold thickness from using Amazon, and the cost became double when I got it, and I have to become personally present in front of office, commerce office in ACP actually, to actually narrate what is this product. Actually it was only a caliper measuring the skinfold thickness. So how to remove this type of friction?
Yeah, that's a great thing. So actually, if you go back, just as the professor said, even in the US, 10, 15 years back, people didn't even trust to put the credit card online. Or was the internet fast enough to process the order? Or will the fellow bring the genuine product? They're also frictions, right? So some of those frictions is really the role of the government and industry for high-speed internet, other mechanisms to create trust and so on. But those ones I think are more easily eliminated. It's these cultural and psychological frictions that I think are more difficult to get rid of.
Yes, 1 or 2 more questions, please.
In case a product has only digital attributes, how can it benefit or strategize the offline?
Great question. So this is the biggest worry, right? Even of the smaller shops in India, if I'm just selling this product and Amazon does it more cheaply, it's going to kill my business. So how does the offline world fight back? So I think one of the things to help the offline world is the mobile phone and the mobile device to basically make those shops more efficient by letting you know what all inventory they have, by letting you know when the product is available, maybe by more efficient delivery. But I think people used to think that Amazon will kill everybody because they'll bring all the prices down and they'll just rely on the other shops to provide the information and they free ride, right? So you go into a TV shop and you see the Sony TV and you discuss with the guy for 30 minutes which one shall I buy, and he spends all his time to help you, and then you take your phone, you go to Amazon.com. This is the greatest fear, right? And this used to be true, but now because of the mobile device, there are ways for those shops to fight back by being more efficient in information, improving logistics, and creating relationships with those customers. It's a challenge, but it can be done. I don't think Amazon is going to take over the world, actually.
No, actually, I have a digital product which I sell, and I was trying to figure out how I can utilize an offline behavior to augment its sale.
So, do you mind telling us what's the product?
It's an internet filtering software. So it's purely digital. I sell it across 8 countries, but the volumes are very low, so I have specific problems. How can I
Do you have different kinds of service that you bundle with the software itself to make it differentiated, or is it pure commodity?
That would be difficult to answer.
You know what? I'll think about what I'll do is through the professors, I'll give you my email. You can find, if you think of stuff, you can send me questions that we don't have a chance maybe to discuss tonight. I'll try and think of a good answer, okay, and get back to you or to give you some other things to read. Okay?
Tomorrow you are having some time tomorrow.
Oh yes, I'm coming tomorrow.
In Malway Center you can have a discussion 1-to-1 tomorrow, 4 noon.
Okay.
Tomorrow 4 noon.
Tell me.
One more question. and then this young man.
11 to 12
Just a minute, sir, one more question.
I have a personal question. With your experience in the field of, you've researched a lot on online e-commerce retail and stuff, and I'm sure you'll be having ideas to implement a retail chain of your own. So why have you strictly restricted yourself to academics and not ventured into the business part of it?
That's a great question. So why have I restricted myself to academics and not tried something? That's always the joke about professors. Right? So I was
You mentored so many students.
Sure. So I think for all of us here who are professors, I mean, part of it is our basic nature. We like to just to sort of understand why does something work. We're not, necessarily want to make it work and to do it, but we want to understand the human behavior. So that's the soft answer. The second answer is, I think gradually I'm getting to that position because now I'm very involved with my students after they graduate. Like those Warby Parker fellows, I help them a lot do their pricing and everything. And this is a very nice story. So I was actually in Brazil speaking about e-commerce, and one of those fellows called me on his cell phone. He was raising money for the company, and he offered me the opportunity to invest in his company. And it's going very well. So I am gradually getting into that space, and actually now I've gone also to advising some companies. But maybe I'm on that trajectory, And particularly if you think about the market that we're all in as professors, that market is changing profoundly. You know the reason I'm here actually? It's because of my friend Gaurav saw my class online, and then we became friends through email exchange, and then he visited me in Hyderabad, and then I came to Varanasi. So, I am starting to think in that direction. So if I'm back here next year, you can ask me the question again. I might have an even better answer.
Asking for a very professional advice costs money in US, am I correct, sir?
Well,
advice like this is
I have one more question if you don't mind, sir. I have one more question if you don't mind.
Okay, Professor David is here tomorrow also for noon, so you can be in touch with me tomorrow. Now, may I request Professor Asan Upadhyay to present memento and a shawl, जो काशी के अभिनंदन परंपरा है उसके थ्रू हम उनका स्वागत करें। Professor Upadhyay, please.
Sharma for presidential address. Mr. Sharma, please.
Well, a very difficult topic, which is a bit not so covered in our engineering courses. But I am sure those people who have goals to go to MBA programs will definitely be benefited. Selling and marketing two different things. But here, the way he has presented the one simple issue of location. Naturally, you have people, if you look at McDonald's or any successful business enterprises, they are at the main site. So that was physical location. Now you have a virtual location, and he has connected both. Marketing is something which you have to understand. Even the teacher has to market, the student has to market. While writing examination, you have to market properly. The engineers normally do not get salary if these people don't work very hard in the company, because these are the people who get money for us. And timely payment, timely marketing, and your quality goods delivered in the market reduces a heavy burden on a company, especially the financial burden, taking loans from the bank. I'm quite happy that he has presented a new domain to us. This particular digital marketing is catching on. India is a bit slow here because we have populations of slightly different kind of people here. As you know, the 70% people are still in the village. And now I see the villagers also taking Bisleri and also see them using the smartphones. So the time is not far away when you will find that this kind of digital marketing, but cost has to be kept extremely low if you want to really penetrate in the market, Asian market, especially the Indian market. The brand loyalty will shift at lower cost. So innovation, he has said, you have to think about it. Somebody also expressed his concern about those shopkeepers who are not able to do business because of the other big partners have come. So we have to also think a bit, how can I shake hand with a big fish like Amazon and a small fish? And people say, yes, you partner with them. What partnership? The big fish will eat me up. So some kind of protection will be needed in the country like ours. Your country is one of the, as I said, the GDP of your country is really high. You are business oriented. Here things slightly different, Very hard to sell things in India, very, very hard to sell, because the purchasing power is not so much. But especially the good ideas, low cost products, innovative products that normally helps people to be of great value to us. With these words, I congratulate Professor for giving time, and also thank him for coming to our institute and spending time. The first lesson that I took in my MBA class of marketing is my professor gave me one comb and asked me to sell it to a bald person. Can you sell this comb to this bald person? That was the first lesson. He says, if you can sell it to a bald person, don't come to my class. That's you are a bald marketer. I still remember his lecture, Abrar Ahmed. He is a graduate from postgrad from Harvard. So these are the things. He's also very clearly said that ethical issues is not defooling. You cannot befool. You cannot avoid the ethical issues. The more you are honest, the more successful marketer you will be. So one axiom that he has given is location, first success. Second factor for your success of business is location. And third first factor also for your success is location. I don't know. Another factor will also be location. Okay, Prof. Thank you very much for coming to this institute and giving time, and also your friend who has got. So I think the networking is the most important resource, not the money. Okay, thank you very much.